This last section of the tutorial will cover how to actually save and burn the file to a CD. So we've been saving all along as a WAV file. It's because WAV is an uncompressed format, so it doesn't, every time you save in a compressed format, it actually takes some of the data away. An uncompressed format does not do that. A compressed format is sometimes also called a lossy format, meaning it loses some information. WAV does not lose information, so we've been doing that. First I'll show you how to burn a CD, then I'll show you how to save as an MP3. So to burn a CD from Audition, you just click on this CD project view. This workspace in the middle shows you your tracks that you have in there. I have none in there yet. I've already inserted a blank CD-ROM, a writable CD, and I recommend if you're doing audio that you're going to play anywhere outside of your computer that you use a CDR, not a CDRW, because not all audio players support a CDRW. So we have our file listed here. This is the file that's open back in our waveform view. So we'll go back to the CD view and just drag it right over to the CD track. So now we see track number 1. We have the title of our file and some other information. If there's more files we want to add to the CD, we can open them in Audition and drag them over just the same way. When we're all done, we just come down to the bottom and say Write CD. We have some options here. By default, it's coming up as Test and Write. I recommend just choosing Write. Don't bother to test first. This just selects your CD writer, which is usually, there's only one of them there. Eject CD when complete. If you want that option, you can turn that on. And when you're done, CD text, you can actually put your title and artist in here. Adobe Audition Tutorial by Russ Wills. And then we'll click on Write CD. It gives you a little warning. That's fine. I'm going to actually set this to don't show this message again. It's just telling us that it may or may not be able to write that data, which is fine. We'll wait just a little while. The more audio you have, the longer it'll take to burn. We just have a very short clip, so it should not take long at all. When you're done recording, if you have this Eject CD when complete button done, the computer will just pop the CD right out. If you don't, then it'll just give you a message when it's done burning. So we have a message popped up here. The project has been written to the CD successfully. You can say OK. If this button had been pushed, Eject CD when complete, your CD would have been spit out. I did not choose that, so we can either close this dialog with the little red X or by just clicking on close, either way. And then we're done. We've created our file, edited the file, and burnt it to a CD. One other thing that I want to show you, however, if we go back to our waveform view, this was our file that we were working on. Often we want to not burn to a CD, but actually post something on the internet or email a file to someone. So to do that, we choose File, Save As. In the file type, we'll choose MP3 Pro, and we have some options here to look at. So go into Options. This is coming up for me by default as 32 kilobits per second at 22,050 hertz. Remember we chose 44,100 hertz as the recording sample rate. Here this is half of that, and for voice that's usually fine, especially for an MP3 of voice. If you have music, you're going to want something higher. Maybe down here 128 kilobits per second, or create your own custom setting. Either way is fine, but for voice I'm just going to leave it the way it is. We'll say OK, and then we'll say Save. It automatically changes the file type for you. And then we're done. We've saved in MP3. The reason that I burnt the CD before we saved as an MP3 is because at the top here you can see the file we're working with now is the MP3 file, which again is a lossy format. It loses some data. So we wanted to burn the CD with all of the data there without any compression on it. So that's the basics of audio recording. I hope this has been very helpful.